Jungkook's decision on stage left everyone speechless. Not even Jimin knew. No one can predict what will happen that night on the main stage of BTS Festa 2025. The atmosphere that was originally filled with laughter, cheers, and happiness instantly turned into a silence full of question marks when Jungkook suddenly took over the stage, making sudden decisions that even Jimin, the person closest to him, had never imagined before. The entire Kintex area, which was full of soldiers who had been waiting since the morning, suddenly fell silent. All eyes were on Jungkook, wondering what he was really doing. From the very beginning of the event, there were no signs that anything unusual would happen. Jimin, Jungkook, and the rest of BTS performed with their usual energy, performing nostalgic songs, share a laugh, and even have a moment to joke about their funny and memorable past. But shortly before the final song, Jungkook approached the microphone with a slow step. He hesitated for a moment, as if he were at war with his own mind. Jimin, who stood not far from him, just looked at him with a confused look. "I don't know what Jungkook is going to do." Jungkook's voice broke the silence, slowly but firmly. He said that all this time he had kept something that he had never shared, something that even Jimin did not know. Those words instantly made the atmosphere even quieter, and the heart of everyone present in the room beat faster. Jungkook then asked the crew to turn off the spotlights except the one focused on him. He wants everyone to listen, not watch. He wanted them to feel, not just see. Jungkook confesses that he has been writing a secret song since a few months ago, a song that is a reflection of all the feelings that he has been latent. He never presented the song to another member, not even to Jimin, a figure who has always shared with him in joy and sorrow. Jungkook said the song is an honest expression of his fatigue, fear, and love for BTS and ARMY. When the intro of the song started playing, everyone inside the venue froze. The song is called "The Promise I Kept," and the lyrics really slice at the heart. Jungkook sang about his struggle all this time, about how he tried to be strong for everyone, about how he endured his own fear in order to continue to smile before the world. He also revealed that behind the smile he showed, there is a side of him that often feels small, afraid of failure, and afraid of losing everything. Jimin, who knew Jungkook better than anyone, couldn't hold back his tears. He did not expect that the friend who always looked strong in his eyes was holding so much weight alone. All this time he thought they had shared everything, but that night Jungkook proves that there is a part of him that even Jimin doesn't know. While staring at Jungkook on stage, Jimin could only grip his chest, which felt tight, feeling guilty for not realizing how deep the wounds Jungkook had kept. The whole army was silent, no one spoke. Some were crying, some were just staring blankly. It was as if they could not believe that such a big moment was being witnessed in person. The song sung by Jungkook has no elaborate choreography, no grandiose visual play. Only Jungkook's voice sounded honest, accompanied by a simple piano clang. But it is precisely that simplicity that makes the message of the song penetrate directly into the heart. After the song was over, Jungkook lowered his head, trying to hold back the emotions that had been welling up in his eyes. He then said that all this time he always wanted to be the strongest, the most reliable, but in the end he was also a human being who needed to be understood. He said, "I want you to know that it's okay to not always be strong. I also learned that I can be weak. Thank you for staying with me this whole time." Jimin finally went up on stage to Jungkook, hugged him without saying anything. The hug speaks much deeper than 1,000 sentences. Viewers who watch the moment know that their friendship is not just a story in front of the camera, but a relationship that strengthens each other behind a crowded stage. Jimin, in a trembling voice, only had time to say, "You're not alone, Jungkook. I was here." After that emotional moment, Jungkook slowly raised his head, staring at ARMY, then said that he never planned the moment to be a big surprise, but rather a spontaneous decision born of an impulse that he could no longer bear. He felt that that day on the BTS Festa stage was the perfect time to turn the page, to show his most honest side. Jungkook's decision to reveal the song without anyone's knowledge, even without telling Jimin. It became one of the moments that will be remembered throughout BTS history. No one would have thought that a man who has been known to be so professional and planned, in fact, could take such an impulsive but meaningful step. The decision was not about surprising others, but about freeing himself from the burden that he had been carrying alone. After the event ended, Jimin and Jungkook did not immediately leave the venue. They sat together on the side of the stage, talking quietly between themselves, away from the cameras, away from the crowd. Nobody knows what they're talking about, but the staff who saw them from a distance said that Jimin smiled while patting Jungkook on the shoulder, as if confirming that from then on, they will take care of each other more deeply, with a fuller understanding. News of the incident spread so quickly. They expressed their gratitude that Jungkook dared to show his fragile side because he has shared the most hidden part of himself. Many claimed that Jungkook's song gave them the strength to admit their own weaknesses, that being weak is not a failure, but part of being a whole human being. A few days after the incident, Jungkook posted a short message on Weverse. He wrote, "That night I chose to be honest. I was scared, but I was relieved. Thank you for staying by my side, even though I wasn't always strong. I learned that love doesn't always have to be perfect. Sometimes, love is present when we dare to show our most fragile side." The message was met with overwhelming support from ARMY and fellow BTS members. Jimin replied to the message by writing, "I will also continue to learn to know you, Jungkook. We walk together, forever." The moment at BTS Festa 2025 was one of the turning points that deepened the bond between them. Not just about the music, not just about the performance, but about the courage to be yourself completely. Jungkook's decision on stage, which initially surprised everyone, turned out to be the most honest, the most sincere, and the most imprint on the hearts of everyone who watched, and perhaps for Jungkook and Jimin. That moment was the beginning of a more beautiful journey, a journey built on honesty, acceptance, and love that does not need masks. Because in the end, what they need is not the most thunderous applause, instead of a hug in silence saying, "You're never alone." After the emotional night, the atmosphere between Jimin and Jungkook turned deeper and more open. They began to talk more honestly about the fatigue that they had been ignoring, about the dreams that had been buried, and about the fears that all this time they thought they had to hide. Their relationship is no longer just a friendship on display on stage, but it became an even stronger brotherhood precisely because of the honesty they shared without a script. Jungkook, who originally shouldered everything on his own, slowly began to let those closest to him into his most wounded side. He began to get used to sharing more often with Jimin, no longer waiting for dramatic moments on stage to reveal his heart. Jimin also became more sensitive to the little things he might have missed. He began to be able to read Jungkook from just one look. From one pause between their laughter to BTS Festa 2025 not only leaves memories of big surprises on stage, but it also carved a new chapter in their emotional journey as best friends and as part of the BTS family. ARMY, who witnessed it all, feels closer to Jungkook, understand more about the human behind the spotlight that is often dazzling. A few months after the event, Jungkook and Jimin held a live broadcast together. In the broadcast, they seemed more relaxed, laughed more often without burden, and more often threw jokes at each other without any sense of awkwardness. At the end of the broadcast, Jimin had said, "If you feel tired again, don't wait until the next stage. Just tell me straight away." Jungkook looked at her with a smile, then replied, "I promise, Hyung. I won't wait too long." And the lessons they learned after a long journey in a world that wasn't always friendly.